안녕하세요. Hey guys, Lady Danger here. And I know this isn't my usual place of recording things, but I just got home from the Highlights Tour in Atlanta, and I figured I needed to let you guys know how my event was and how I feel about the way that TGM ran this event in Atlanta, and give you maybe some insight to if you're interested in attending any of their events in the future. If you haven't caught on or watched my stream or anything, I am a huge fan of K-pop. I listen to it all the time. I read about it all the time, and I keep up with everything that's going on. So when I heard that BTS was coming to the US, I was so excited. I found out late, unfortunately, so I didn't get the first round of tickets. And I was tweeting about it. I was talking about how I really hoped that they would come back or they would release more tickets, and somebody responded and said that they had oversold the show and that it was not going to happen. So, like any other BTS fan, I was kind of bummed out since they didn't promote it at all. It wasn't promoted, it just kind of like showed up, and then everybody was like, oh, okay, I will buy these. And so I was waiting around, and finally the weekend before today, they said they were going to release some tickets that were refunded, and I managed to get one, but unfortunately the ones that I got were the $55 ones, which you don't get to high touch with. And we all know that that's what we want to touch. But besides that, they released a schedule for the Atlanta dates of when you could stop by and check in, when VIP stuff started, when photo sessions were going to happen. And I think they mostly released this because they had such miscommunication for their San Francisco date, which it was their first show, so obviously there are things that are bound to go wrong. But I guess the way that they handled it in San Francisco, from what I've read online, is not really that great. And so I saw that they were being proactive and they were trying to make sure that the Atlanta date went smoother and that everybody knew what time to show up and where to be and what was going on. So you could pick up at noon, and I drove by at about 12:30, and I think I circled around a few times, and the line did not move. The line was not moving. It did not look like anybody was going in at all. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait a little while and come back. And I came back around 3:45, almost 4 o'clock, and I stood out in the rain just like everybody else, and I waited in line to get my tickets. And finally, once I got up there, it was really weird because since I got the refunded tickets, our name wasn't on the list, but we had our receipt, and they gave us these black wristbands when everybody else was getting the, I think, brown and blue and green and yellow, all other color wristbands for whatever they paid for. And so from there, you could either get back in line outside, which would get you into the line to come inside to get ready or to go into the venue for the show, or you can go into the line that was right next to it, which was to pick up your t-shirt. Since I got the $55 refunded t-shirt, or refunded ticket, they're mailing mine to me. So I went straight into the other line. A couple other people I saw were cutting because a lot of people had picked up their tickets earlier, and they were waiting outside in a line by like a tree right outside of the venue. And I guess there was no communication between them and the other people that were picking up their tickets. So a lot of people came out from their tickets and then formed another line since it was getting really close to 6:30, opening, because doors opened at 6, but they weren't letting anybody in. They were just letting people stand outside. So people actually didn't get into the venue until they didn't start letting people in until about 6:30. And so other people were walking in front of the people that had been standing outside waiting, that had gotten their tickets way earlier in the day, which is kind of unfortunate because I feel bad because, I walked to the end of the line and waited like everybody else. But so finally the line started moving, and we were going inside, and I was getting really nervous and anxious because I was worried that maybe they might shut the doors, or, it said specifically on the the timeline that general admission tickets or check-ins stopped at 6:50, and I walked in. I finally got inside, and there were 2 people that came in after me, and then they shut the doors. I looked back and they shut the doors, and a friend of mine that was with me pointed it out, and I was like, that's really weird. I know that they said they were stopping general admission at 6:50, but I figured people that had already had their tickets would still be able to enter. So I was actually kind of concerned about it, and I went inside, and I was standing and I was looking on Twitter to see if anybody had tweeted about it, because you know that's the first thing people do when something is not going their way, is they're going to tweet about it, and they're going to let either the company or the band performing know that something has gone wrong. And I didn't see anything, but there's also the rule that there's no photos taken during the show. So once I got in, I had put my phone away after I had checked Twitter, because they had made an announcement about it, and they said that people were going to get escorted out if they had their phones out or taking pictures or video during any of the performances, which they did. They actually removed a few people for having their phones out, which I think is fair, because they did explicitly say that you will be removed if you had your camera out and you were filming. On the other hand, at the same time, I think it's kind of ridiculous for them to do that, because it is really free publicity. If it's a really great show, you're getting, people are going to be on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and they're going to let everybody know how great it is, and more people are going to want to come. But I don't know who set the rules. I don't make the rules. I just think they're kind of silly. So finally the show was over, and they performed amazing. They did great. They looked awesome. Their dance moves were smooth. The only thing I could complain about was the shrill girl screaming behind me. But, you know, what can I say? The overall event, the actual performance, BTS performed 4 songs. They performed 4 songs. They performed 3, and then there was kind of like an encore, which is the one song that they played. I won't tell you because I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But, so once it was over, they made this obnoxious announcement about the fact that anybody with a black wristband didn't get to do high touch, and that they need to be removed, and if they tried to sneak into the high touch, then a big security guard would remove you, and you'd go from there. So, knowing that there was only a few of these, if not only me and my one other friend, I felt really embarrassed walking out by myself, because there was 1,000 people staring at me when I feel like they're just pointing and laughing because they're all get to see BTS and I don't. But finally I walk back outside and I see everybody standing outside, and it's raining. It had been raining all day. And I'm looking through the line, and I see the girls that were standing behind me when we were waiting in line with them. And I stopped, and I checked Twitter, and I saw that they had been waiting out the whole time. So I took that picture, and I tweeted it. And a lot of other people retweeted it, because it's really important for TGM to understand that the way that it was handled was really inappropriate. The fact that, you know, I guess in San Francisco they had people VIPs waiting in really cold weather inside, and that, you know, the way that they had VIPs in San Francisco that were supposed to get, you know, not preferred seating, but assigned seating, and then they messaged everybody about that, and then they didn't do assigned seating, and that the people that got wristbands like me, that were the $55 one, weren't supposed to get high touch, and they did get high touch in San Francisco, and, you know, we didn't get it in Atlanta, and I understand that's not what I paid for, so I'm not going to, you know, be too butthurt about it, because, you know, it's not what I paid for. I would have liked it, but, you know, I'll do what I can get. But I talked to a few people that were outside, and they had given a wristband, a red wristband, to anybody that had been waiting outside to get inside, and they had given them a piece of paper, which I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what the paper said. And so it pretty much just says, you know, they're apologizing, they oversold the show, they're going to get a full refund, they're still going to get their high touch, and they're going to get a photo op. And so I waited outside the whole time because I was really upset, and I wanted to make sure to do anything that I could do to make sure that it was clarified of what was going on. And so finally, you know, the high touch started, people started leaving, and then finally the people that had been waiting outside got escorted inside, and they were like, oh, yay, so excited. And I left because I couldn't get back in to do the high touch, and I went out to eat, and as I was out to eat, I saw a tweet saying that the people that had been waiting outside did not receive their high touch or a photo opportunity with BTS. And I'm under the assumption right now, from the video that I watched from Twitter, of them actually interacting with the people from the venue and the people, I guess, that did run it or told them that they weren't going to get it. One, I'm really disappointed in the profanity and the obscenities. Is it obscenities? Yeah. I'm really disappointed with the obscenities and profanity that was used from the ARMY, because I completely understand that it's really frustrating, and that it's really disappointing, and you're waiting outside and it was raining, and I really feel for you, because I'm trying to do what I can do to make this right, or make it maybe to the right people, get to the right people. But I feel like when trying to interact with people and try to get your point across, profanity isn't always the best way, and it's not the most professional way, and it's something that really needs to be cleared up, because if you're telling a company that they're being unprofessional and then you're being unprofessional explaining it to them, it's really not going to go over well, period. So I feel like TGM has a lot to learn. They have a lot of money to pay back to people, and they need to find a way to make it up to them, because the people that paid for it, yeah, you're giving them their money back, but you're not giving them the hours that they sat outside waiting to get their ticket, the hours that they sat outside waiting while the performance was happening. And I've been to many concerts. I have toured with bands. I know that the booking company knows the capacity that they are able to sell the amount of tickets for. And never once have I been to an oversold concert. And these are, like, it's a very simple thing. If they knew that they oversold tickets in the first place before they had refunded people, they should have just left it at that. They shouldn't have gave any more tickets. And from my understanding, there were really only a handful of tickets that they did end up reselling. But it's just really not fair. And I'm pretty sure from the video that I watched, BTS was not aware of what was going on outside. I don't believe that they knew that people were waiting outside that had paid to get in and could not get in. And I also do not think that they were aware that the people that were waiting outside did not get their photo opportunities. Then again, it could have been the actual management that said that they were done. They were only supposed to be there a certain amount of time. I'm not quite sure. But we need to be strong as an ARMY, and we need to be positive, and we need to be professional to get our point across in a serious way for something that is this important. I'm probably going to go with BTS is not going to come back with TGM again, if I had to make a guess. But hopefully they will come back. Hopefully we will have a much better experience. Hopefully the people that were waiting outside and got treated completely disrespectfully will get an opportunity. Maybe there'll be a list of people that will be contacted directly about maybe upcoming events or anything like that, or any companies that are going to be sponsoring BTS coming through the US again is maybe get their hands on this list and let these people know first. I'm not sure. All in all, I do not think I will ever support another TGM event, Atlanta or otherwise. I just feel like as a company they have a lot to learn, and I don't think that they can offer the amount of people that are going to be coming to these events the proper service that they need. That being said, the ladies that did check us in were very nice, not completely knowledgeable about the situation, about the reselling tickets, but, you know, it got handled and they were really great. But I'm really sorry, and I hope that this helps you guys understand maybe a little bit of what's going on, and just be strong. Bye, guys.